I cannot tell you what to believe, I cannot tell you what is, and I do encourage you to use the techniques I use or similar techniques to find your own truth. But as the world changes and things quicken, I feel that I can now take some liberty in expressing my perceptions, so as to be able to discuss the relevant topics of this age. As an inner alchemist, I have tried very hard to refine and expand my inner feeling sense, and the ability to project beyond physicality. I call this the way of the projectionist. This allows me to explore perceptions and possibilities beyond the rational paradigm, which tells us that we are objects existing in an object-filled world. From this point of view, I can tell you that unidentified flying objects, UFOs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, are real. The nature of this phenomenon is wide-ranging and not all of it is the same. By this I mean that some of it could be termed physical while there are other such craft and beings that are not physical, at least in the way that most people define physicality. Some of this phenomena is from extraterrestrial sources, while some of it is from the Earth itself, meaning that it is part of the non-organic life forms that are of this Earth, that have always been here, and that share this world with us. The variety though is important here, and it means that there are certain craft that have a kind of interdimensional quality to them. This interdimensionality may mean that these craft are either part of a greater whole of what the Earth is itself. That is, they are beings that are often referred to as the fairy folk, or what some may have termed non-organic or inorganic. There are also true interdimensional craft that come from beings that can move not just across dimensions, but across space using those dimensions. And beyond this, there are also what could be referred to as true physical craft, meaning that they are craft from alien civilizations, that are traveling across space in more rudimentary ways. This is a difficult topic to explain because in many ways, once a certain amount of speed is attainable, you could say that all travel through space is interdimensional, being that all movement after a certain range of speed is reached, begins to defy time, and therefore a kind of enfolding of space occurs. Once this happens, interdimensionality happens to one degree or another. You could say therefore that all space travel is interdimensional in a sense, and certain civilizations or life forms of an inherent quality have mastered, or are born with the ability to control interdimensional travel to a relative degree. But whatever the case, there are what could be termed physical craft and physical evidence of beings and civilizations that are not of this Earth. Some of the phenomenon that has been videotaped across our skies is physical enough to be caught on film. And by the way, the reason why these craft are often fuzzy or blurry in this film is because these craft are either usually using a kind of cloaking device, or because the interdimensional quality of their locomotion means that there is a kind of refraction around them that makes it very difficult for them to be pinpointed. I mention this to say that there is indeed other life beyond this planet, and that there is evidence, some of it physical, that such advanced alien life exists. My personal feelings are that certain higher authorities in the world know that this is the case and that indeed there is evidence. But there has always been a fear that the revelation of this extraterrestrial life could send shockwaves throughout our civilization, and that such shockwaves could create many problems for us, and might even destroy many needed and established social structures that are responsible for common order and psychological stability for the human race. The art of the soft sell is a sales technique that emphasizes building relationships and providing value, rather than simply selling a product. It involves taking time to understand the customer's needs and pain points and creating a solution that allows the customer to come to terms with all that is involved in the ownership of this new truth. This means allowing humanity to slowly develop a greater understanding of what the universe is. It is sort of like a long-term introduction to a greater reality that has been known for an elite few for some time now. Unfortunately, as certain groups fight for dominance, there is disinformation amongst true information, and it is always difficult to figure out what is truth and what is a lie in this most difficult topic. There is incredible synergy here that ties in new technological developments in the human race, the advent of the artificial intelligence singularity, and the eventual understanding that humanity is not alone in the universe. As our power and technological prowess grow, we must slowly come to understand that many of the concepts and beliefs that we held not so long ago are completely wrong. I have mentioned on a number of occasions that beneath all things, sort of like the load-bearing pillars on a massive structure, core beliefs are the very foundation of everything that follows. This means that our psyche, your psyche, is built upon certain core beliefs, certain core ideas that you accept as complete fact, that then provide this structure and support all that follows. If these core structures are somehow broken, if somehow these core beliefs are proven to be wrong, then in the breaking of these core beliefs, you can bring down the entire structure of a psyche and perhaps even a civilization. And even if the psyche does not completely collapse, it is always the case that such a restructuring will always mean that there will need to be a time to heal, so that these new foundations, these new core realities, now become part of a new identity. This is the art of the soft cell, at least this is what it is hoping to achieve, to allow for a slow introduction into a greater reality and one that must coincide with the singularity that is on our horizon. The technological singularity will bring about the flourishing of artificial intelligence, eventually general artificial intelligence, and a constantly increasing doubling of human information which will eventually reach a peak at the same time that this artificial intelligence reaches a kind of cognitive awareness. What I am trying to say here is that AI is directly linked to disclosure, and that there is also a link to human population growth which I might get into at a different time. What is happening here is very complex and not completely orchestrated by human hierarchies. It is instead an organic development of humanity as it stumbles forward into a more open and capable awareness. There are ways that you can prepare and thrive within this expansion of awareness that is happening now and increasing in speed. This inevitable change will mean a complete transformation in everything that we are, as individuals and as a collective. To help with that expansion, I would personally recommend my trilogy of books. The Magnum Opus. The Way of the Projectionist. The Way of the Death Defier. I strongly believe that the techniques I have shared with you in this trilogy of books will provide you with a solid foundation to not only survive but also thrive in the upcoming quickening. By mastering these techniques, you will be better equipped to navigate the changes and challenges that lie ahead. And hopefully, in time, you can escape those hierarchies altogether and that unconscious zombie-like evolution that we are now a part of, and instead find your own individual way beyond the human trap. To resist the subtle soft cell of those who believe it is their right to guide and manipulate you, it is essential to possess the ability to discern your own truth. The key to countering such influence lies within the individual, one who has developed the personal tools to discover their own truth and stand firm in the face of all that may come. By cultivating this inner strength and power, you can remain steadfast and secure, free from the sway of those who would treat you as a mere pawn.